All right. We're live. What's up, everybody? Just thought I'd say hello first. And just say I'm super glad for anybody that's watching this today because we are going to have a great conversation. It's going to be fairly short, but we are going to have a great conversation about company culture and how that affects your company. So if you think about, let's just imagine for a moment that let's imagine for a moment you've got a guy that works in your company that maybe they started with you and maybe they're your main person, right? Maybe they're yeah, your go-to guy potentially or girl, whichever. Um, and they've been with you since day one. So, and you're a loyal person. What do you do, right? If you think that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, what do you do? Well, I'm going to tell you what you do. You've you got to eliminate that person. Why? Because they're going to infect the rest of the company. Look, if you've got somebody in your company that's bringing the other people down, you got to look at that and you got to think about, well, how is that affecting the long term of my company? Well, I'll tell you how. If you don't get these people out of your company, they're going to destroy it, right? I mean, if you think about that, it's just like when you were in school, you always had one idiot in the classroom, and that idiot usually disrupted the class, or that idiot usually brought the class down, or if they were not an idiot, maybe they brought the class up, right? So think about that. Think about your best people. And if you're in a service-based industry, what you want to think about is who gets the best reviews, right? Who is always on time? Who shows up every single month, week after week? Who is the guy that no matter what, or girl, that whatever you ask them to do, they're going to do it, right? Which you got to think about that, because those are the most valuable people that you can have in your business. And listen, if you take those people for granted, I promise you're going to wish you hadn't. I've seen this happen too many times. I've seen it happen in so many companies. It's not even funny. And a lot of it has to do with feelings. Imagine that. I don't. And look, if you're most of the men that I work with don't say it's about feelings. They say, oh yeah, I can't cut this guy because he's been with me since day one, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. They don't say it's feelings, but that's it. They don't want the confrontation. They would rather lose the money on their company than have the confrontation. Now, help me understand how that makes sense. So you're telling me that conversation is going to be so bad, you would rather lose tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next 6 or 8, 10 months, whatever it is, because you're not parting with that guy and you don't want to have a hard conversation. Now, really, like, how much sense does that make? If you're a business owner that's profitable, and not even necessarily even successful, just profitable, you understand how much sense that doesn't make. You understand there's absolutely no reason to keep an employee on if they're not benefiting you and your company. I don't care if their feelings get hurt. I don't care if you have to tell them you're firing them. I don't care if you have to write them up. Guess what? It's the best thing for your company. Good companies don't keep bad people around. Good companies get those people out as quickly as possible because they see the damage that will happen long term. And it's just smart business. And listen, most of the time, excuse me, most of the time it's not even the business owner. Most of the time it's somebody like me that comes in as a consultant and says, hey, what is this mean? What is your main guy doing? That your favorite guy that you think is doing so much for your company, what is he really doing every day? What is that girl doing that is your best seller? What is she doing the rest of the month when she closes out her goal at the 15th of the month, right? Think about that. Most salespeople take their foot off the pedal when they get to their goal. Why? Because they feel like they've arrived, right? But I would challenge you to think, if you've got 15 more days in the month and you've already hit your goal. Here's how I see it. I'm going to double my goal this month because I've got 15 extra days, right? But I guess a lot of people don't think of it that way. Why? I don't know why that is. So if you're watching this and you're in my Sales Legends group, don't worry about the thing below. But if you're not in my Sales Legends group and you're seeing this, that Facebook page at the bottom, that's my Sales Legends group. You can figure that out by now. I would have you go there and join. It's free. And we've got a lot of great people in there, and you can learn a lot. And it doesn't cost you a dime. So, look, if you, man, and this is part of the reason that I feel like you shouldn't get too close with your employees, because what happens when you realize that person that's close to you is messing up, you have a hard time. You have a hard time parting with that person. You have a hard time having that challenging and difficult conversation. And what does that lead to? It leads to frustration and overwhelm. And ultimately, it costs you revenue at the end of the day. And look, if you're a business owner, this is just part of it. You're going to have hard conversations. You're going to have to fire people. You're going to have to hire people. You're going to have to tell people you're letting them go right before Christmas at some point in your career. Why do I know that? Because I've done it. I've had to go through it, and it sucks. Dude, it sucks so bad to have to tell somebody you're letting them go before Christmas. But, guess what? It's between your business and their livelihood. And I know that sounds trite and really crappy. But at the end of the day, you got other employees you have to worry about. And you can't sacrifice the business and all of those employees for the sake of another employee. And that is exactly what you're doing when you keep that bad apple on. You're sacrificing the good ones for the bad apple. Why? Because you don't want to hurt their feelings. You got to stop with that. Business is not about feelings. Business is about relationships for sure, but it's not about, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings because they're screwing up my business, and I don't want to hurt their feelings because I want to fire them. Absolutely not. You have a duty as a business owner to, serve your clients and to be the best you possibly can be. And if you're not doing that, you shouldn't be in business. And if you're in sales, you shouldn't be. If you're not in sales for that reason, you shouldn't be in sales. And so I'm just telling you right now, look, I've gone down the rabbit hole of just trying to do the work for the money, taking the job that pays you more money that sucks. And guess what? I was miserable. And guess what? I wound up not being near as successful as I am now that I'm not doing that. I don't look at it like that. I don't see somebody and look at them as dollar signs. That's just not how it works. And if you do think that way and you don't believe what I'm telling you, keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to find yourself one day in the same position I did, which was, holy crap, what am I doing wrong? And the holy crap, what am I doing wrong is my priorities were in the wrong spot. I was focusing on the wrong things. And look, we all get sidetracked. God knows I get sidetracked all the time. But guess what? You got to dial it in. And when it's time to dial it in, when it's game time, you've got to recognize that. Because sometimes, lots of times in business, it's hard. It's really hard. You don't think about all the nuances and the crap you've got to do and all the balls you've got to juggle. It's, if you've never been in business for yourself before, you need to think about that before you do it, because it is wildly rewarding, but it's also wildly challenging, which I love both of those, which is why I like working for myself. Anyway, so if you got a bad company culture, you got to fix that. You really need to take a really good look at that. And guess what? I'm going to give you some hard truth here. And it's going to be uncomfortable. But if your team is not doing well, it's most likely your fault if you're the leader. Well, why do I say that? And Corey, don't be so Don't be so rude. Well, I'm just being honest with you. If your employees are not doing what you need them to do, you're not leading them. I can say that. I have also been down that rabbit hole as well. And I thought I was a good leader. I thought I was doing the right thing. Truthfully, I did. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't. I wasn't doing the right thing. I wasn't leading by example. I was leading like a dictator, and you can't do that. Or your business is going to fail. Just like that business did for me, right? I'll be honest. I mean, I'm pretty transparent about it. Like I've had some failures. I sure have, and I've learned a lot from them. But you know what? It is what it is. And if you're in business now and you never had a failure, get ready because it's coming. I don't know anybody that's been in business that hadn't had a failure, a massive failure, a massively financial failure. And so, look, it is what it is. If you don't have your house in order, if you don't have your culture right, you got to get it right. If you don't know how to do that, reach out to me. I'm happy to explain it to you. I'm happy to show you exactly how you drill that, or how you shore up your team, your techs, your team, your sales team, right? So you guys have a great day. I'm out.